Helmuth is looking down on pocket kings. Pre-flop, this is a classic clash between raw power and disguised strength. Tony G opens light, Mercier flats on the button with pocket threes, and Helmuth in the blind wakes up with kings.
Raise pot.
His raise to 8,600 is a big, old-school squeeze sizing that tries to punish Tony's wide open and isolate one player. When Tony gets out of the way and...
You got a couple of hundred on and I'll play every time pre-flop. Why don't you add some more money on, Phil? I'll give you a flip every time then. See what sort of a genius you are then.
Mercier calls, the dynamic is already set. Phil has defined his range as extremely strong, while Jason has a capped, small pair suited connector, looking range that wants to see flops and play poker post-flop. The flop comes down a nightmare texture for Phil, 9, queen, 3, all clubs. Mercier absolutely smashes it with bottom set on a monotone board, while Phil's overpair is in danger of being dead against any made flush or set. The turn pairs the queen, giving Mercier a full house and freezing a lot of Phil's perceived flushes. Jason checks again, continuing the trap. Now Phil feels safer. Paired boards mean fewer flushes and more chance his overpair is best. So he fires 7,000 as a delayed c-bet that targets exactly hands like tens, jacks, or a bare club. Mercier springs the trap with a raise. That line screams polarized, either a queen, a big flush, or a bluff. With kings and the king of clubs, Phil decides to hang on and call, planning to reevaluate rivers. The river brings a fourth club, completing every possible flush and leaving full houses at the absolute top. From Mercier's seat, this is perfect. The story he has told of a strong queen or big flush is still completely consistent, and his actual hand, a full house, comfortably beats both. He jams, ripping in the rest of his stack.
Come on, what in the heck is going on here? This is ridiculous. This is what happens to me when I play in these frickin' cash games.
Now you're back to yourself. That's better.
I couldn't hold it in.
I was worried I lost you.
God, this is so brutal.
Jason's betting big here, having a pretty good idea Phil's got a premium hand.
How much is it?
67.9.
Phil folds.
That's a one we gotta show.
Phil gets away from it and saves himself almost 70 grand.
Felt like a sick bluff, sir. Sick. Or pocket nines. Either or.
God, that's so brutal. Could have been worse. If I bet the flop, I'd just ship it with him.
Who wants to...
Tony G is looking down on king 4 suited. Pre-flop, this pot starts out as a fairly standard multi-way situation that quietly plants the seeds for a brutal cooler. Harlow opens with ace-9, Antonio peels in position with king-jack, and Tony G overcalls with king 4 suited. From Tony's side, this is loose but very on-brand. He is in there to play pots, especially deep stacked and in position on an amateur opener. Behind them, the blinds come along, and you get exactly the kind of bloated, almost family pot where dominated kings and weird suited holdings collide.
Here he comes. You've been quiet, Phil. Preserving your lead.
Not really, I check.
The flop texture massively favors the kind of speculative, wide calling range Tony brought to the pot. He flops top and bottom 2 pair, while Antonio hits what looks like a very strong top pair with king-jack. After Helmuth and Harlow check, Antonio's continuation bet for 4,200 into the field is completely logical. He charges draws, gets value from worse kings and tens, and represents the strong pre-flop range he had by flatting the raise in position. Tony's raise to 15,000 is the key inflection point. With 2 pair on a coordinated board, he wants to punish exactly hands like Antonio's, forcing them to pay a premium to continue. The raise size is big enough to thin the field and make life uncomfortable for single-pair hands, but not so huge that it blows them off. Helmuth and Harlow correctly get out of the way. Antonio, holding top pair with a strong kicker and some backdoor straight equity, is never folding to a single raise and makes the call, likely putting Tony on king 10, a bluff, or some kind of combo draw.
What do you have left?
Antonio checks.
You want exact count?
No, it's fine.
And Tony's decision to check back is deceptively strong. With 2 pair on a now even scarier board, betting again would inflate the pot against a range that has improved to many strong 1 pair plus draw hands. The river ends the hand in one swing. It gives Tony a full house, kings full of 4s, and upgrades Antonio from a strong but beatable top pair to trip kings with a big kicker. After checking twice, Antonio now leads 20,000. This is a classic value bet sizing, targeting exactly the kind of hands he thinks Tony might have slow played, Queen 10 or maybe a stubborn King 9 that check turn for pot control. Tony's response is a cold-blooded shove, an enormous raise over the river stab that polarizes his range to absolute monsters or air. In theory, that sizing should make Antonio very suspicious. There are not that many natural bluffs that take this line, and the full house region is heavily concentrated in Tony's loose pre-flop range. But in practice, when you have trip kings with a strong kicker, have seen your opponent check back a dangerous turn, and the pot is already large, folding feels almost impossible.
What the hell did you check the turn with, Tony? All right, call.
Antonio calls all in and sees the bad news.
I see.
Tony wins a pot of 150 grand.
Chips? The worst.
Phil Ivey is looking down on ace-9 offsuit. Pre-flop, this is a very normal configuration for a tough final table. Ivey opens from early position with a hand that is comfortably ahead of the blind's defending range and plays well post-flop in position. In the big blind, Quas defends ace-5 offsuit. He is getting a good price. He closes the action, and against an elite but wide opener like Ivey, ace-x with a wheel card is a perfectly reasonable defend, even though it will be dominated sometimes. The flop comes one of those low, disconnected boards where the pre-flop raiser still has the range advantage, but the big blind has all the weird 2-pair and straight combos. Quas checks his overcard plus gut shot, and Ivey fires 80,000. With 2 overcards to the board, some backdoor possibilities, and a huge image, his continuation bet will fold out a lot of total air and small pocket pairs. Quas's call with ace-5 is very standard. He has ace-high, 4 to a wheel, and he keeps Ivey's range wide. The turn adds more straight possibilities and a second heart, but does not actually improve either hand. Quas checks a second time, and Ivey now taps the table back. That check is important. By declining to barrel, Ivey controls the pot with what is often just ace-high and also keeps his range looking a bit capped. The river ace changes everything. Both players finally make top pair, but Ivey's 9 kicker quietly crushes Quas's 5. Quas checks a third time and Ivey goes for value with 150,000. The story he tells is very believable. Missed spade draws and random floats bluffing, or an ace that played pot control on the turn and now bets for value. Sitting there with ace-5, having seen Ivey check back the previous street, Quas is almost forced to pay it off. Daniel Negreanu is about to play 6-deuce suited. Phil Helmuth opens to 800 with King 10 offsuit, the kind of loose early raise he uses to test the waters and try to play pots post-flop. Negreanu immediately leans on it, re-raising to 3,600. With 6-2 suited, this is not about raw card strength. It is about punishing Phil's wide open, isolating the weakest range at the table, and taking the betting lead in position.
Who lost the last pot?
Doyle Brunson cold calls with pocket jacks, a classic trap that keeps worse hands in and avoids turning his medium-high pair into a bluff catcher against a 4-bet. Getting the price and curious to navigate post-flop, Phil comes along. That is a very Negreanu result. His pre-flop 3-bet range contains plenty of big queens, overpairs, and high card backdoors, so checking back keeps his range wide and ambiguous while realizing equity with his suited wheel trash. It also invites Phil to fire turns from out of position and forces Doyle to reveal how comfortable he is with jacks on a coordinated board. When Negreanu declines to c-bet, he preserves the option to attack later streets if either opponent betrays weakness with sizing or timing. The turn is the 4 of spades, a deceptively important card. It adds real backdoor flush pressure while also nudging straight grids like 3-6 into view. Phil leads 7,000 into about 19,000, a classic mid-sizing that tries to win the pot before the board becomes scarier. Against Daniel, that size usually reads as one pair or air rather than a queen or better that wants protection and volume. Daniel just calls. He is not chasing. He is keeping Phil's bluffs alive, protecting his own strong hands that would play this way, slow-played queens and some spade floats, and setting up maximum leverage on rivers that amp up the story. Doyle, now sandwiched in hating life with jacks, lets it go. The river is the 2 of spades, completing the backdoor spade flush and putting 4 to a wheel in the picture. It is a nightmare card for capped one-pair holdings. Phil drops a 6,000 block bet, a telltale sizing that asks for a cheap showdown and implicitly admits he does not love his hand. Daniel pounces and raises to 46,000. What does he represent? From Phil's seat, it is coherent for Daniel to have exactly the hands his line preserved, 2 spades that checked flop multi-way, called the turn lead, and now raise for value, or a slow-played queen with a spade that upgrades from bluff catcher to thin value on a bet-blocked river.
Speech time. It's gotta come.
He might have like 6-9 offsuit. It's Daniel. Good bet.
And Phil lays it down.
Finally got there. Took a while, but
6-9.
I had you.
He nailed it. Look at that. That's sick. That's not gonna look good on TV.
Yeah, whatever that is, it's not gonna look
Whatever it was.
That's gonna be bad for a profile, unfortunately.
Little do they know, Daniel did have the best hand.
I play so bad. I know Daniel's playing the rush and he's going to re-raise.
Yes, that was what I was
I
doing.
knew it.
The analysis post-flop is not the time to get it right. You want to get it right during the hand.
You didn't have a pair? You couldn't call?
5, 4.
Imagine you made like a call with 2 3s.
Huh?
What are you doing betting 6,000?
That's when I'm supposed to pick off all the chips from him. When he
bet 6,000?
starts messing with me.
That's
and
if you have a like, if
You got dual smile.
Vanessa is looking down on pocket aces.
So it's me and you. I got to raise it 1,200.
Predictable. Many things.
So if you re-raise, then you build the pot so big, and then you're going to get bluffed out in a big pot.
Tony G thinks he's going to outplay Vanessa post-flop with position and a junk-suited looking hand.
Keep the pots low. I bet 2,000.
Yeah.
That's fair, you know. I think it's better betting in a dark. A dark raise, that's hard and commitment.
The flop is the dream board for Tony. He smashes bottom 2 pair versus most opponents. This is where he starts fast playing, trying to punish overpairs and top pair by ballooning the pot immediately. He leads 2K, to which Vanessa instantly raises to 5K. From her point of view, this looks super standard. She has overpair, she doesn't block spades, there are straight and flush combos Tony G can show up with, and she wants to deny equity.
You ready?
From Tony's point of view, that raise is exactly what he was hoping to induce. He doesn't just call, he makes it 20K.
You ready? If you win the hand, you keep me quiet.
Don't believe you. That bluff I'll call.
That size is Tony basically telling a story of, I'm not scared of you, I have a real hand. The problem he doesn't realize is Vanessa loves that story. When she flats the 20K instead of jamming, she's saying, I have you in jail and I'm letting you keep betting. With aces, she caps nothing, and Tony can't narrow her the way he thinks he can. Turn is where everything flips and Tony doesn't feel it yet. So Tony keeps value betting for 10K.
You could shut me right up.
How?
Well, by being all in and winning the pot.
Punch in the face.
Just push a button?
Thinking he can still get called by worse and charge flush draws. But in reality, he's now drawing almost dead against boats and nutty slow plays, and Vanessa has him in a spot where calling is mandatory and raising is unnecessary. Full house versus full house is where bankrolls go bankrupt because nobody folds boats to one bet emotionally.
Now you got to show some guts. Can you bet this, or you're going to make a really weak check now on the end? Go on, Vanessa, you can do it.
All in.
Call.
Ace is full.
Wow, very nice. That's the best. Very nice.
You got screwed?
I got a full house too on the end.
Wow.
And a flush draw. That's it. That shut me up. Well done, Vanessa.
Vanessa doubles through.
I got lucky, obviously.
Not really. I mean, it's...
We took turns getting lucky. I got lucky to get the aces. You got lucky on the flop. I got lucky on the turn.
I haven't won one hand when I've been good. So.
Daniel Negreanu kicks things off with Queen-Jack offsuit. He is raised to $2,800, but is up against Tony G with Ace-King offsuit.
Action folds over to Tony G, who makes the call.
Two strong hands going into the flop.
Queen 6 Jack.
King of the world.
Check by Tony G.
Tony G's missed. Daniel's going to fire with top 2.
Bets 5,500.
Tony G knows Negreanu would bet this flop even if he had nothing. But he decides not to go for a semi-bluff raise, and instead, he floats, letting Daniel tell his tale while he quietly waits for something on the turn.
Tony has 2 overcards, even though they're no good. He's really only looking for a 10 to make a gut shot.
There it is!
Tony G tries to keep a poker face as he just hit his straight. He knows Daniel Negreanu is the best of all time at reading people. This is a critical moment to let Daniel continue building the pot. He checks, letting Daniel think 2-pair is the best hand here. Tony is in total control right now, patiently waiting for the right time to make his next raise get called.
Daniel bets 14 grand. A raise to 50,000 by Tony G.
A quick raise of 50,000. Tony's the kind of player that could be doing this with a worse 2-pair. He could be doing it with a draw. He could be doing it with flat out nothing, but a raise that big, that fast, usually means only one of 2 things, a monster hand or a monster bluff.
Daniel makes the call.
Tony using his hand to keep his mouth closed because it's probably watering right now.
The river gives Daniel a full house.
These two have been playing against each other at the highest level for 3 decades.
Tony checks.
Negreanu knows Tony has a straight, as you will see in his prediction at the end. He's not worried about being beaten here. He's just doing the math now. What's the number Tony G can't resist calling here?
Bet 80.
Negreanu makes it 80,000 to go. Snap call from Tony.
Negreanu shows him the bad news, hands him the keys of the city.
You had ace king.
Yeah. Well done, Daniel. Well done.
Played it good.
Nice deal.
Sorry, Tony. You played it good.
After getting a bad beat, Britney is now ready to try and take her revenge on our villain. And the pocket 9s that she is holding in the next hand will help her try to achieve exactly that. In this hand, Britney is again the first to raise and asks $300 participation fee from her opponents.
Oh, you lose money.
$1,500 from Rayber.
Our villain holding the worst hand ever and coincidentally the mascot of our channel in the face of 7-2 is 3-betting to $1,500, which at this point looks completely like mad play.
Britney not done with this.
Now that our villain is deep in it, Britney is getting ready to take her promised revenge. She calls with the pocket 9s and is praying for a good flop. The flop delivers 7-queen-8 with 2 clubs. This flop is not too good for either of them, even though Britney has the backdoor flush draw, and our villain caught his pair of 7s. Our villain fires a bet of $1,200 trying to scare Britney off her hand, but we all know she is here for revenge and is not backing down.
How much do you have?
After the turn, villain makes one last attempt to get Britney off her hand by sizing her up and betting her all in. Little does he know, though, she is relentless and goes all in, and is planning to beat him with 93% equity.
So, kind of a 7-deuce debacle developing here. Oh, there's the 7 on the river.
What do you have?
And he still hasn't turned it over.
9s?
$10,700.
I don't know.
And he's going to collect some bounties as well.